You know the feeling, right? It's that classic frustration. You put in the work to get your lawn looking great, and then, seemingly out of nowhere, you spot these weird, ugly patches that just do not belong. It feels like someone just showed up on your property and started working against you. So, let's get into it and figure out exactly what is going on. I bet you know exactly what I'm talking about. The rest of your lawn is just starting to wake up for the season. And then you have these bright, almost lime green spots that are just screaming for attention. They stick out like a sore thumb. And believe me, if you've seen them, you are definitely not alone. We've got a name for this particular weed. We like to call it the uninvited employee. You know the type. It just shows up, completely ignores the rules, takes advantage of every single weakness it can find, and honestly, it just makes a total mess of the place. So let's get properly acquainted with this little troublemaker. All right, consider this our official briefing on the intruder. Its real name is Poa annua, though most people just call it annual bluegrass. It's time we really get to know who or what we're dealing with here. Okay, so here's the most important part of its resume. It's a winter annual grassy weed. And trust me, that classification is everything. Winter annual means it actually starts its whole life cycle back in the fall, grows quietly through the winter, and then makes its big, ugly debut in the spring before it dies off in the summer heat. Let's move on to some recon. Because Poa annua is a grassy weed, it can be super sneaky at first. It tries to blend in with your actual turf, right up until it doesn't. Knowing what to look for is absolutely the first step in mounting your defense. So, here are your main identifiers. First, that color is a huge giveaway. It's this bright lime green that just doesn't match the rest of your beautiful turf. Second, it grows in these bumpy, uneven clumps. And here's a little pro tip for you. If you get down and look really close, the tip of the leaf blade is curved, kind of like the front of a tiny little boat. Now, those features are great for spotting it, but there is one telltale sign that just blows its cover completely. It removes all doubt. If you see this next thing, you know for a fact you're dealing with Poa annua. And here it is, these tiny, fuzzy-looking white seed heads. They show up super early in the season, a lot of times before you've even thought about mowing. The moment you see these, you know your uninvited employee is officially trying to set up shop and reproduce all over your lawn. Okay, now for the intel report. Look, any good strategy starts with understanding your opponent's playbook, right? So what makes Poa annua so successful? And more importantly, what are its weaknesses? Let's find out. This chart really breaks it down. Over on the left, you see everything it loves. Cool fall weather, thin and stressed out turf, and soil that's compacted and wet. But now look at the right side. This is what it hates. It can't stand thick, dense, healthy lawns or soil that drains well. But what's the number one thing on that list? The single biggest factor? A fall pre-emergent application. That, my friends, is its kryptonite. So why do we care so much about this one weed? Well, because this isn't just some ugly plant. No, this is an aggressive invader that causes real, reoccurring damage in a destructive cycle that happens year after year after year. And here's the reason it's so persistent. Are you ready for this? A single one of those grassy clumps can produce hundreds of seeds. And get this, those seeds don't just disappear. They can sit there dormant in your soil for years, just waiting for the right conditions to pop. And all of this creates a really vicious cycle. See, in the spring, it drops all those seeds. Then, the summer heat hits and the Poa annua dies off. Which sounds like a good thing, right? Wrong. It leaves behind these ugly, dead, bare patches in your lawn. And what do you think absolutely loves to grow in those perfect, empty little spots? You guessed it, the next generation of weeds. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's pivot and talk about the solution. It is time to get strategic. This is your game plan for breaking that cycle and finally firing that uninvited employee once and for all. Now this right here shows you the critical difference in approach. Trying to cure the problem in spring after you already see it everywhere, that is a serious uphill battle. It's tough, your options are limited, and frankly, it's way less effective. But preventing it back in the fall, now that is the power move. A pre-emergent herbicide basically creates an invisible barrier that stops those hundreds of seeds from ever even starting to grow. So this brings us to the absolute core of our strategy. If you're going to remember just one thing from all of this, one single action that will make the biggest possible difference, what is it? This is it. This is the whole ball game. POA annua control starts in the fall, not the spring. You have to completely shift your mindset. You're not reacting to the weed you can see. You are proactively stopping the thousands of seeds you can't see from ever showing up in the first place. And here's how you win this thing for the long haul. You have to play both offense and defense. Build up a thick, healthy lawn that literally crowds out the weeds and gives them nowhere to grow. Fix those soggy spots. Aerate that compacted soil. Stay consistent. And the big one, make that fall pre-emergent application a non-negotiable part of your lawn care routine every single year. So while we want a lawn that's all about growth and life, this is one employee that you absolutely need to fire, effective immediately. By shifting your entire strategy from a spring reaction to a fall prevention, you can finally break the cycle and take back control of your yard. The only question is, are you ready to hand it its pink slip?